Hey everyone and welcome back to a new video. I just came home from a trip to London with a class that was just 1 year older than me. So I was the youngest one there and it was really great. And I was really excited about doing new videos. So of course you've maybe had videos while I was gone because I did a little planning. So you would get your weekly videos. Today I'm very excited because we're going to talk about one of my favorite sagas and trilogies of all time. Because it's absolutely great. The books were great. The movies were great. So if you're ready, let's get right into 10 anecdotes about the Lord of the Rings. So if you're ready, let's go. The first anecdote is that in 1969, the Beatles record label acquired the rights to adapt Tolkien's work, so Tolkien being, of course, the author of The Lord of the Rings, prompting John Lennon, Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney and George Harrison to make his work, and to consider making a film out of it. They even thought of Stanley Kubrick as the director of the movie, with John Lennon playing Gollum, Paul McCartney as Frodo, Ringo Starr as Sam, and George Harrison as Gandalf. But finally it was cancelled, and the movie never was made because they thought that they couldn't condense all three of the books in just one movie. But I think it would have been pretty iconic to see. Now number 2, when Tolkien sold the rights for his Lord of the Rings franchise, it was in 1969. But I don't think he knew the impact that his work would have later on. He received only £10,000, which is approximately 14,000 euros, for the rights of his work and did not negotiate any royalties at all for his descendants or for himself. So that legendary work was sold for only £10,000, which of course later on made billions of being a movie. Now number 3, very quick anecdote. The Return of the King holds the record for the highest number of on-screen deaths, with 836 people if I remember correctly. Now number 4, when he was young, Christopher Lee had the chance and opportunity of meeting Tolkien in a pub. Being a huge fan of the saga, he immediately auditioned for a role when he heard that the franchise was going to be a movie, in Peter Jackson's adaptation. He actually initially wanted to play Gandalf, which eventually went to Ian McKellen, but he ended up taking the role of Saruman, which was less physically demanding for him. Now number 5, the sword fight choreographer Bob Anderson, who worked on movies like Star Wars or Zorro, once said that Viggo Mortensen was the best student he had ever trained in his whole life. Viggo Mortensen took his role so personally that he actually used real steel swords for his role, even though the rest of the cast used aluminium or rubber ones. Now number 6, when Aragorn, which is Viggo Mortensen as we said just before, this is a very famous anecdote, but when he discovers the massacre that was made by the Uruk-hai, he angrily kicks a helmet in a scene, then screams and falls to his knees. And this scene is not completely fake actually, because when hitting that helmet with his foot he actually broke 2 of his toes. Even though he's an amazing actor, he got a little bit of suffering for that scene. Now number 6, I saw this anecdote while seeing an interview of him, but the actor of Gandalf, Ian McKellen, actually got a famous phrase in the movie wrong. In the original Tolkien books, Gandalf was supposed to say "you cannot pass" to the Balrog. But Ian McKellen actually said that he said it wrong and it became an iconic phrase afterwards. He said "you shall not pass." And I think it's even better than the original. But that was a mistake, which of course made the final cut and became legendary. Now number 8, I find this kind of cute, but all of the members of the Fellowship of the Ring have the number 9 tattooed in Elvish on their body. Orlando Bloom, Viggo Mortensen, and the rest of the cast. Now number 9, I find this anecdote quite fun actually. It could have been possible for James Bond to play in The Lord of the Rings. Well, James Bond, Sean Connery, he was offered the role of Gandalf actually. Despite being offered a big salary for this role, he refused to do it because he had never read the books in his life and he didn't understand the plot. But if we calculated, he could have won about $400 million, which is quite huge for an actor, because it was $10 million for his role, but also 15% of the box office of the movies, which of course made billions. So financially that was a bad call, but of course for a great story that was also a bad call. That doesn't change anything of the way I see Sean Connery. He's still an amazing actor. But seeing him as Gandalf would have been amazing. Now 10th and last anecdote today, we're going to talk about the Fellowship of the Ring. The first version of this movie, of course of Peter Jackson, was over 5 hours long. People often say that the movies are very long because they're almost 3 hours long or even more than 3 hours long. Well, the original version was 5 hours long. So Peter Jackson had to do quite a lot of cuts to divide it nearly by half. But there's also an extended edition that adds about 30 minutes of additional footage to it. Well, there it is. Thank you a lot for watching. Very was my pleasure. I'm a little bit tired because I woke up like 30 minutes ago, but I wanted to film this because I came back yesterday night. Really, it was great seeing you. I'm very excited to be doing a lot of new videos. I hope to see you very, very soon. Stay tuned. If you could subscribe and like, it'd be my pleasure to see you. Have an amazing day. I'm sure you will, like always. See you very, very soon, everyone. Bye-bye.